In today's episode, we will hear from exchange students from Germany at Tech, as well as stories of Tech students who have studied at the university in Germany. Well, next, I would like to introduce our guests for today. From Germany to the world, we have John Wolfgang Müller.
Woo!
Then we have Veronica Almeida.
Hello.
And Isabella Landwich. Yeah?
Hi.
How would you pronounce it? Tell me how to pronounce
Landwich.
it. Landwich. Oh my God, it's difficult. And from Mexico, we have Ivan Lutman.
Hey, what's up?
Well, nice to meet you all. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Good, yeah, really good.
Are you excited to be in this radio show? How do you feel? I mean, maybe is it the first time you're in a radio show?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Well, in Mexico, I would just like to say to our general public that if they wanted to, they could be speaking definitely in Spanish. Este programa lo podemos estar haciendo perfectamente en
Sí.
español.
Sí.
Sí, sí.
Ellos hablan perfectamente de español,
Sí.
¿verdad?
Bueno,
No.
más o menos.
No, sí, yo creo que sí, o
No,
sea,
Ah,
sí.
sí.
John hasta dijo al principio, I'm going to say it in English. John even said at the beginning that it was going to be more difficult to be in English than in Spanish, right?
Yeah, probably, yes. Yeah. But I was really one time in a radio show as a child, and I could give some greetings. And I gave greetings to my abuela, to my grandma. That was really the one thing I did on the radio once. Yeah.
Well, if you want, this is the moment you can say hello, mom, hello, dad, hello,
Hi.
hello,
Hello.
everyone.
Hello.
Well, in this episode, as I was saying, we're gonna be talking about your experience overall. The interesting thing is that both of you, like you from the program from Germany, have stayed almost for a year here at Campus Monterrey at Mexico, and you, Ivan, you have been for a full year also abroad in Germany, right?
Sí.
See, no, and I mean it's gonna be an interesting contrast. Well, it's nice to meet all of you once again, and we'll stay tuned for the next. Well, we'll start with Chronicles of an Exchange, where our guests will share their first impressions and how they adapted to life in Mexico. John and Veronica and Isabel, tell us more about like your experience overall here in Mexico. Like how has it been so far? Like living in Mexico almost for a year.
Who wants to start?
It was the best year of my life, I would say. It was really nice. 4 years ago, I was already 2 months here in Mexico, and I played the guitar in the streets. So I got to know quite a lot of the country, and I also fell in love in Mexico. And I thought, if there's by any chance I can come back to Mexico, I want to do that. And then I saw the program. Okay, I can study a year in Mexico, and here I am again. And it was really a nice experience, all in all, and still a nice experience. So I'm really enjoying every day.
Yeah, I was pretty sad on going to Mexico when I started university. Like when I looked up the universities, I saw they had the program with a double degree with Tech de Monterrey, and so now I'm starting in Spanish. No, and so I was like, no, I'm gonna go there, and I'm gonna go to Mexico, and yeah, it's been great ever since, and yeah.
Nice. Well, in my case, I don't know, I was kind of nervous because it was my first time going to a Latin American country. Like, I've never been to one. I think for them, they've, like, had some experiences with that. For me, it was the first time, so I was a bit nervous, but kind of, like, the Mexican people that I met in my university prior, like, the semester before, like, they kind of convinced me to come here. Like, they talked, like, really, like, said a lot of good things about tech, so I was like, yeah, let's go. And I've been enjoying myself a lot. Like, it's such a nice experience. Yeah, definitely.
So from what part of Germany are you, and what do you study? I would like to, like, I mean, me and the public wants to know where are you from?
So I'm born and raised in the mountains, so really close to the Schloss Neuschwanstein, or the Castle of Neuschwanstein, from Kempten, and I'm studying international business in Germany.
Yes, my parents live near Frankfurt, so I was raised there, but I'm studying in Pforzheim, the same university as those two. But I'm in Germany, I'm studying international marketing, and all of my other peers from my career are at Santa Fe campus, but I asked them if I could come here because I knew that here it would be in Spanish, and I wanted to do all my courses in Spanish. So I asked them, and they said, yeah, you can go with the international business people, and I went. Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
I study the same thing as John, international business, and I'm from like near Stuttgart, but it's a really small town. When I'm from, it's like 10,000 people. It's called like Waldheim. So I don't think anybody knows it, but just like I'm from the like Stuttgart region, also from the south of Germany. Yes.
And what are the main differences that you have seen from your university to Tec de Monterrey?
It's so much bigger.
It's like it's so fucking big.
Part-time university is really small.
Yeah.
And like we have 3 campuses, but it's like a few buildings and that's it. Like here it's like huge, and here they have Starbucks and everything. Like in Germany we have like our cafeteria and that's it. I guess I would say.
Yeah, they're like small buildings.
And it's, I think, normally also the contrast in Europe, normally because they're like public schools and it's like really focused on academic stuff. So we have just the academic buildings and that's it. And here you can live literally in the library.
It's an experience.
Open 24/7. So completely different experience.
And I would also say that the system of learning here, it's more interactive, and it's smaller groups, and you have to do lots of perform work and stuff. And in Germany, it's like you have one exam in the end of the semester, and you can come to classes if you want or not. And if you prove the exam, it's your problem. Like the professors are not as involved with the students, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely like you're like your own person. You have to do everything on your own, and here it's more like I feel a lot of times I feel like school here. Like
it's like school.
It's like high school here.
Like
for
literally,
me.
I say, today I'm going to school.
High school
When I go to school,
We also have like all the sports here and the representative teams. I'm like, damn, I'm in High School Musical. Like I don't know. I'm living my dream.
When we got
The
here,
head in
and
the game.
like the first tech week, it was like the introduction week.
Oh.
And when they began to
high-tech,
singing,
the high-tech event.
When they began singing, I was like,
Yeah,
I'm in High School Musical.
definitely.
Living the dream.
What would you say that is a big difference now that you have stayed a year? Like from your first semester to your second semester, what have you seen that's like, I think
it's kind of nice because the things that we maybe didn't get to do in the first semester, like we have like a second try, like we have the second chance to do it better the next semester, and that's what I really like. So for example, this semester I involved myself way more into like all the sports activities, because in the first semester I was really unsure like what is there on campus, because there's so much, and then I don't know, so I tried to involve myself in that one more. And also you're just more used to the system, how the things work, like how the classes work, how the professors are, like the way you talk with them, like how you interact with your students, especially because we only have classes with Mexican, like full Mexicans, like, and that's also interesting how to like communicate with them, and then you just learn how they work. And
and I think in the beginning, at least I had to adapt to having only classes in Spanish, because before I didn't have like I did know how to speak Spanish, but not business Spanish, and I think, and also the system, to get to know the system, Canva, and everything that like is part of it. So I think like when we started this semester, we already knew what was gonna like happen and how everything works. So it was like an easy start in the second one.
Yeah, no one inside, for instance, in the first semester, I did like 50-50 with internationals, 50-50 with Mexicans. And now this semester, I'm nearly only doing something with Mexicans, because the internationals always say, oh, do you want to go there and there? And I said, okay, I already know the place, or I went several times there, so I'm really living this time here. And the last semester was like kind of a maybe big party or like an adventure, and every time you want to see something new and travel, and it's so really exciting. And I also thought, okay, probably that will change. Like if you for a year here, you will maybe just party the first semester, and the second one you will just study. But it's like exactly the same, so nothing changed. Having an exchange semester for 2 semesters, just a similar experience in regards of how crazy it is, like in both semesters. Yeah, it's really crazy.
Yeah, of course. No, and I think the nice thing is that you get to know more people from Mexico, right? And you get to like interact and live the experience in a different way. Because I don't know, what would you say, how do you feel Mexicans or tech students have integrated you to their daily lives?
They're so warm-hearted. Oh, they're really lovely. Honestly, they're if you just ask a short or I have any problems, everyone wants to help. Everyone is super open. So that's, if you are open to them as well, that's really nice.
I agree.
I think we got really lucky last semester. Our class, they did a lot of things together. It was really nice. So they always invited us, and it was like kind of like a friend group in the class. So it was very nice.
Yeah, they took us in.
And do you feel that now that you're all the time with Mexicans, your Spanish has become better, or maybe it has become more colloquial because when you're with Mexico, you start speaking?
Yeah, I would say both. Like, it got a lot better. Like, my Spanish, I'm a lot more fluent than I was before.
Yeah, same, definitely.
And more Mexican slang. So a lot of Mexican slang.
Yeah, you.
I don't know, I think it's so interesting because it's always, like, for Mexican people, it's always funny. Like, if you say a slang or something very Mexican, they will always get super excited. And I think it's so, it's even if you speak, like, very good Spanish, they will still be like, wow, it's so cool that you know that. I don't know. It's so funny.
What's your favorite Mexican word?
Oof.
You can say it on the radio, right?
Kind of. Maybe like, there's some Mexican words that are not that bad, I would say. I think way is not.
I don't know
not
these
that
words.
bad.
No, but chinga is like, you can do a lot of words with that. My professor's using it a lot. La neta, no, I like a lot.
Yeah, there's some words that have like, they might be like, little kids can use them, but there's like a bigger word that it's like, okay, little kids shouldn't be using that word. But yeah, I think overall it's nice that you have integrated to the Mexican culture. And when you have faced this adaptation, what challenges did you encounter?
So first, we'll probably you have to confirm every. If you're meeting with a Mexican, normally you have to confirm several times. Otherwise, it's really like a really German thing. Okay, 1 week at 3 p.m. we will meet, and in 1 week at 3 p.m. we will meet, and probably exactly at 3 p.m. or maybe 5 minutes different. But here it's like, okay, we will meet in a week at 3 p.m. Will we really meet at 3 p.m.? Maybe isn't it better like at 4 p.m.? And then if you don't confirm at least at the same day and 1 day before and maybe 10 minutes before as well, they won't come. And they're like, but I thought we're not meeting. I wrote 3 messages. Well, why do you think we're not meeting? Yeah, that's like maybe a small challenge. A small one. It's like, not too bad.
Yeah, I would say like maybe also like teamwork is a big thing here in school, and I think the Mexicans work differently than the German ones. I don't know. At least in my team, sometimes it's like at first it was a challenge, I think, to adapt a little bit or to like know what are the roles in a team, and I think that was because in Germany we don't really work as much in teams, and here it's always the same one.
Or we're a bit more efficient, I think so. I have a feeling, like, as Germans, we're like, we'll do this, and like, and then here it's more chill. No? I don't know.
Because of the language, because we're super direct, we don't have that indirect phrases, so there is we can't express ourselves that indirect. And in German, you have to say it in a direct way because we have so many specific words you can use. So apart from Greek, German is the language with the most words in whole Europe. That's the reason why it's sometimes also complicated to learn it. If you know German, that's really great.
We're actually getting there now. We're gonna be passing to the next session with Ivan.
My turn now.
Well, we're going now with Ivan with 1,000 Miles Away section, where he will explain his tech experience abroad in Germany, and we'll tell a little bit of practical tips for students that are wishing to study there. Well, Ivan, welcome. Tell us a little bit from where you're from, and also like from what part of Mexico, and what did you study when you were here? Because I would like to say that, well, or Ivan can tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, actually, I'm a recent graduate from biotechnology engineering. I graduated in December. And yeah, I was in Germany 1 whole year. Actually, my name is Ivan Aguayo Lutman. Lutman is half German. I am a part German. So I did learn German before I even entered high school. That's where I learned it a little bit like deeper or more like in depth. And it helped me a lot when I traveled to Germany. I was in Cologne, in Köln, and then in München. And in the south, it was way harder because it's a whole different dialect. So I think that's where the whole contrast or dialect barrier comes into play. And yeah, I'm local. I'm from Monterrey, Nuevo León, Mexico. And happy to be here at Radio Tech.
No, thank you for joining us here. And well, a little bit about your German experience. In what university were you, and how was the university different from Tech?
Yeah, I was in the Technical University of Munich at TUM, and it was really hard. First of all, before I even enrolled to TUM, they told me that I had to do like a pre-selection of 3 universities. I chose TUM, I chose Karlsruhe at KIT, and another university that I forgot. But they told me that TUM was one of the biggest universities, I think #1 in Germany. And I didn't think I was going to get in, but when I got my invitation for enrollment, like acceptance letter, it was a life-changing experience. I really enjoyed it. It was hard because they expected you to have at least C1 to both understand and communicate yourself in classes. But then again, like the whole contrast was what they mentioned before. Like the classes were like 100 students, and it was like a big classroom. And it was all like not really interactive. Like every person really went for 2-3 hours for lectures, and then to take note, it was all like personal. You do it on your own, and you didn't even have to go like to class. There are a lot of people that skipped, including myself. Sometimes I would skip 1 or 2 classes to do other things because I had other like personal things to deal with. So yeah, but overall, I think it was a good experience. It was a lot of hard work because especially bachelor's degree is, I think, harder than like master's. So it was a lot of like theoretical knowledge, and I understood that there were like theoretical concepts that here in Mexico are taught differently, like in mathematics and chemistry. So I had to learn it not only in German, but also like different concepts.
And I think it's like doing a translation from the things that you know from Mexico to the German things, or how did it work in your mind?
Yeah, because here in Mexico, my classes were in Spanish, so I didn't even take many English classes, like from my area. So now to translate them to German, it was hard. And I even told like some professors, like, can I take some exams in English? Because it was like organic chemistry or thermodynamics, which are like harder topics, and we're like, no, it's in German. And I was like, we'll see.
Respect.
And one of them I barely passed it, but hey, we passed it.
And I know that you're from the how do you say that, or
Yeah, that DAAD.
which is also like a program from COSPIE.
Yeah, COSPIE is the combined like study and practices for international students from developing countries. That's how they called it. It's literally developing countries. So there were people from Argentina, from Colombia, and Mexico. Yeah.
And how was that experience? Like overall, like studying there and with these people, overall, did your experience was with more Mexicans or Latin American, or did you actually merge with the German culture, the German people?
When I was in Cologne, it was mostly Latin Americans, because in Cologne I was there 3 months to learn more German. I took particular classes from the language. They tried to prepare us for like university. And there were like Americans, other internationals, Colombians and Argentinians. And I think all of the Latin Americans, we vibed on the same level, like party, the whole dialect and everything. So we will go for beer, really enjoy like the first world country travel. was really nice. Especially with the Colombians, they were really nice.
Did you got like when you graduated your like a double degree, right? Or it wasn't not
No,
like that?
it
No,
was not a double degree.
no. It's what's the program consist of for being a full year?
Well, I think they are just like planning to adapt like double degree now, but when I graduated, it was like graduation with like distinction for an international experience or recognition for studying abroad.
Ah, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I think now your German must be almost perfect as their Spanish, right?
I haven't practiced like in 10 months.
Do you have like in German like a word like is in Mexico we have like parangaretikimikaro. I
Parangarikotirimi.
that one. Even for Mexicans it's difficult. Is there a word like that in German?
Trabalenguas.
A word.
Like a tongue twister.
I know a tongue twister. Frische Fritz, frische. I don't know.
Frische.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
It sounds like we're gonna start a rap moment. Like
Yeah.
Blaukraut bleibt Blaukraut und Brautkleid bleibt Brautkleid.
Yeah. What he said.
What does that mean?
Blaukraut bleibt Blaukraut. It's what is Blaukraut?
It's a cabbage. It's the blue
Yeah,
cabbage or the
Blue
purple
cabbage.
cabbage.
It stays blue cabbage, and Brautkleid bleibt Braukleid. Wedding dress stays wedding dress. It doesn't make too much sense, but it's like the same like in Spanish.
In Spanish we have tres tristes trigues tragaban
Tragaban
trigo en un
trigo en un
trigal.
trigal, sí.
Uh-huh. Now it's your turn.
Tres tristes triges. Bueno. Entonces,
No, it was good. I mean, I want the audience to know that you know Spanish. So I'm not kidding. I'm actually telling the truth. And there's a camera there that's watching us as well. But what would you say that from your experience, Ivan, it was one of the most valuable things that you got from being a year abroad in Germany?
Most valuable things. I think it gave me a little bit more sense of direction with what I want to do with my career, as well as a little bit more of being independent, especially because you're studying abroad, and also because there's not that Latin American warmth that you have with your family sometimes. It's not a bad thing. I am kind of like, I do enjoy like isolation sometimes, being alone and everything, but sometimes it was like 10 months of winter, really cold and everything, and then you don't have like your family, you can only like FaceTime them, so it's always like important to have that support. And so yeah, I think I learned both academically but also personally how to take care more of myself, how to organize myself more, and I think it has helped me now that I'm a graduate. I think I can make more decisions for myself and take more risk. I think my whole experience was taking more risks, like for example here, because I never think I will have agreed to a radio show. I'm like really I'm shaking.
No worries. It's part of it. I mean, it's just like talking, you know. It's the thing is that your mind goes like, oh my God, there's more people hearing, and you go there, but it's just like we're people talking about experience. So, and I mean, it's good what you say that, and I want to go back to that topic that you were mentioning. About how you feel when you are abroad and the warmth that Latin American people have. Do you think that this has something to do with the weather?
Partially.
Yeah.
Partially, although when I arrived to Munich and it was Oktoberfest, I forgot about the weather. After like 3-4 mass beers, I forgot about the weather and the rain.
That's how we drink.
Yeah.
what a cool, yeah.
Alcohol cube. That's why I think also in Russia they like the vodka is that's why they drink a lot, because to stay warm, right? Uh-huh.
I'm drinking more here that I'm not drinking too much. I'm drinking
Sorry,
more
Mom.
than in Germany, because it's always warm. You always want the beer in the sun, and in Germany there's like less sun, and in the winter you don't want to drink like that much beer.
In winter you have Glühwein.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Hot wine.
but not beer. At least not beer.
Hot wine, really?
Yeah, it's like a mixture, I think.
Yeah.
Like
And I was shocked because they serve it in university. They once got all of the department of like the faculty of chemistry. They got us for I don't even know what it was, an assembly, whatever. And at the end, there's like Glühwein and pastries. And I got drunk before 9 a.m. And I only had like 2 glasses, but I hadn't had breakfast, and I had like 2 lectures, and I was like, I'm gonna fall asleep, or I need to get out of here, because
I think warm
already
wine
tipsy.
hits harder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super
Oh,
hard. Like
for
It's
sure.
lovely.
I mean, it sounds like something that you would drink before sleeping because it's warm. You just wanna.
Like when you go to a Christmas market, you go there, you eat, you look at what they like, some handcraft things that they sell, and you drink.
And it's super cold, and you just want something warm.
Like
so you want a warm hug, but the Germans are a bit colder, so you don't get that warm hug, but at least you get the Glühwein, like just the warm wine.
Yeah, and for children, there's Kinderpunsch, and that's like, it's grapefruit. It's without alcohol.
It's very good.
I have never heard about like that. Like it's really interesting. I mean, like having wine that it's warm. Here we put it like in special things to get it like colder, So it's interesting that actually you can drink it like that. I want to ask you one more thing, and would be like, what practical tips would you give to other Mexican students or students from Tech that want to do an exchange in Germany, and the things that they should consider before going to Germany?
Yeah, so from my experience, I would say I think it's really important to be really well organized. I know it's like what they always say at institution, but from my experience, I would say always be careful with your documents. Always make sure to have pictures or some extra documents that you print extras just in case. Because when you're in Europe, sometimes there's a lot of security, of course, but sometimes you can be a little bit distracted or clumsy, and you can forget things in the train, in the public transport. So be careful with that, especially if you lose like an ID or a debit card. And always try to make a list of what you need to get enrolled into the program, to the university, and then to your internships. Because with the DADE, you do an internship semester. And yeah, pretty much that's it. Be really well organized. And if you have the chance to go to Germany, please look for internships before the next year, because I tried doing it like in October, November when I arrived in Munich, but I didn't start getting replies until like January. And I started like sitting down. I had to polish my whole resume, and that's when I started getting more interviews. And I was in the middle of exams, both studying and then studying for interviews. So it was really embarrassing, like really overwhelming.
And definitely a challenge.
Definitely a challenge. And I know of friends that by January or even before New Year's Eve, they already had like their internships. So if you can and you have time, polish your resume, make sure that all your documents are up to date, and definitely look for internships.
Yeah, definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Es momento de tomar un break. No tardamos. Sigue con nosotros. XHTEC 94.9 FM, la plataforma radiofónica de comunicación y divulgación del TEC en Monterrey. Tech Sounds Radio, tecnológico de Monterrey. Una revisión histórica y la temática de las canciones interpretadas por los mejores cantantes en el mundo en las últimas 7 décadas. The Crooners, con Daniel Cabrera. Miércoles 5 de la tarde, solo por Tech Sounds Radio 94.9 FM, Monterrey.
En este mes, queremos recordarles a todas las mujeres que la prevención es autocuidado. La detección temprana del cáncer de mama es un hábito que puede salvar vidas. Pequeñas acciones marcan la diferencia. Autoexplórate al menos una vez al mes. Realízate un chequeo médico anual a partir de los 25 años y hazte la mastografía a partir de los 40. El autocuidado empieza por ti. Recuerda hacer una autoexploración. Es el primer paso para una detección oportuna. Te toca cuidarte a ti. TecMed Center, Tecnológico de Monterrey.
Nuestro equipo está listo. Desde el emparrillado del Estadio Banorte, la Casa de Borregos Monterrey. No te pierdas el encuentro entre Borregos Monterrey y Aztecas de la Universidad de las Américas Puebla. Escúchanos este viernes a partir de las 7 de la tarde. Todos los detalles a través del 94.9 FM en Monterrey y a todo el país a través de techsoundsradio.tech.mx. Toda la emoción emoción del fútbol americano universitario, solo por Tech Sounds Radio 94.9 FM, la emisora oficial de Borregos Monterrey. XHTEC, Tech Sounds Radio 94.9 FM, la emisora de radio del TEC de Monterrey. Estamos de regreso. Continuamos.
Well, we're back with we're with the challenge, and in the challenge we're gonna discuss the cultural differences and the impact tech has had on your exchanges overall. So, John, Veronica, Isabel, and Ivan, tell us more about how you felt so far, like the integration about the culture in your daily lives, and yeah.
So it really depends, like how German you are. Like, sometimes I feel like a bit more than Latin person than a German, but especially what we mentioned with the how direct people are. Sometimes German exchange students here, they're saying, "Oh, I didn't want to hurt them, but they just said straightforward what they thought, and it was too direct for the Mexicans because they like it a bit more from the indirect way." So that's, and also on the other hand side, if they're saying it that indirect and they don't understand, and they're like, "Oh, okay, maybe does she want to go on a coffee or not?" And she said, "I just don't have time this time, but probably next time." But it's a no. They don't understand it. Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, dating must be difficult in that sense, or
And also with friends, so it's like in all regards.
Yeah,
Not
in all
not
regards.
Not just
Yeah.
dating. Yeah.
Do you feel the same way?
From dating, no. I'm not dating. No, but I think yes. Like with my group, I think with my team, it was like sometimes I'm always the person who asks like, "How are you doing with that? Are you like, are you finished yet or something?" And in my opinion, I don't say it that direct, but once I said it to like a family member, like, I'm saying it like this, and they were like, "Oh no, that's too direct. I think like you need to like ask a little bit more friendly." So they do it. Because if I ask too direct, like, "Have you already finished?" Like, maybe they don't like, they feel like, I don't know, I'm too direct. I don't know.
I think the people that I worked in a group with, I think they got used to me to being that way, like to being really straightforward, like, "Hey, we need to finish this at this time, like somebody has to do something." Like, I think like, I don't know, like maybe in that part, like I didn't change that much, but yeah, like, yeah. But maybe in like other situations I did become more like more Mexicanized, more like I'm not gonna be that direct, like I'm just gonna be like more like calm and yeah.
Yeah, I think in general, as three, we have also different backgrounds, so we're not like German, so that we are, well, maybe, but you've been in Ecuador before you came to Mexico, so you already like were used to like Latin America, like a little bit another world than Germany, and yeah,
I'm Portuguese, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
your parents are from Portugal, and my dad's from Guatemala, so I think the culture is similar, so it wasn't like a huge shock or something. Yeah.
Maybe also another challenge would be the flexibility. Sometimes, for instance, if you have a task, it's really okay if we have to do it until Monday 6 a.m. and the last person is doing it at Monday 6 a.m. and 10 minutes or something really the last second. So if you want to do something really structured and like a week before, no, there's no way. So a bit more last minute tendencies sometimes. And also with reunions with friends, it's also okay. In the last second, someone can say no, I won't come, or say something that, oh, sorry, it's not possible, or no, let's do it tomorrow, or like there are a lot more changes, so you have to be flexible. But if you're flexible, then you have the best life here.
I remembered something funny here. I noticed that when texting in WhatsApp, a lot of times people, they text like hola, ¿cómo estás? Like that's even before like they text you and okay, they want something from me, but they're not being straightforward. In Germany it's like hey, and then they write like
what they want,
like right away, like hey, can you maybe help me with the homework or something? And here it's like hey, how are you? And that I adapted to like, because I think sometimes maybe it can come like off as rude if you're gonna be like hey, do you have this for me? And then now I'm also like how are you? And yeah.
That's literally my mom, and it's like, how much money do you want this time? Nah. No, I think for me, the whole cultural shock was exactly that. Like, people in Germany are really like straightforward, really direct. For example, I tried to be warm with an old lady at the train the first couple of weeks. She was like, blew this, I don't know. And I was like, I'm just trying to like offer you a seat at the train. And she's like, nah, I don't know what you did to the seat, but it's a whole different reaction. But I didn't take it much at heart. Here in Mexico, we're a little bit more sentimental, but I did like learn multiple times that you need to be a little bit more flexible about other people and how they react. And I think that helped me a lot with my internship, because it was a whole German group. It was a whole team. And eventually I got the hang of it. And above everything, I made sure that there was communication. And I think like as a Latin American, we always try to adapt to the levels. I don't want to say levels of intensity, but like, for example, to live up to the standard that they put for us, because we are hard workers at the end of the day. And when I was there as an intern, I was the only, I think, Mexican in that team and Latin American. So I really wanted to live up to the standard and really prove them like, hey, if you hired me, it's for a reason, and I wanted to prove it to you.
Yeah, I think that's good, because maybe sometimes we have like this, in Spanish it's haz fama y échate a dormir. I don't know how to say it in English, but yeah, but in Mexico we have, and I think it's kind of true that, for instance, we're not that punctual, and I think when it comes with Germans, it's like punctuality, it's a must, so that would be like I think a big cultural like shock. But I know that there's Mexicans that are punctual, and there's Mexicans that also like strive to do the things as Ivan was saying, like if we want to do that in Germany, for instance, you need to adapt to the country, not the other way around, in a way. So do you feel that you have adapted in those terms, like, but mainly you were saying with the way of talking with Mexicans, in a way you have adapted, but like with the time, what do you say?
I would say I'm even more punctual here than in Germany, but only because of classes, because in Germany, like, we don't have assistants, and here they take the list and they put us, like, if we arrive like some professors do it, some not, but if you arrive like 10 minutes later, they don't put you on the list anymore, and you have like falta. And so it's so I don't want to have faltas in my record, so it's like I'm more punctual here. And in Germany, the professors don't care if you come late. Well, if you come late and the entire like 100 people are looking at you, then it's like a little bit embarrassing, but you don't get anything on your record or something like that. So I try to be always like punctual and get on the list.
Do you feel, for instance, you were saying like here you need to go to the classes?
Yeah.
Do you think it makes a difference when you study, needing to go to class every day, apart from like, because I know that, and I have heard international students that don't go to any class and then just study 1 month before the final exam, and that's it. That's how they do their whole university. Do you think there's a difference in the system that it's helping you in a positive or in a negative way? How would you say it
I think
affects
for
you?
me, it helps me to concentrate better. Like, since it's more interactive, it's easier for me to concentrate. And sometimes in Germany, if I have a lot of lectures in one day, I can't concentrate anymore. I can't like really take notes anymore. Like at the end of the day, I'm just sitting there and I'm just talking to my friend or doing something else, like something else productive. But yeah, so I don't know.
I think the environment here made me more ambitious. I think so.
Yeah.
Because it's also more competitive. Like
Yeah,
in
I
Germany,
think-
it's not that competitive, but here sometimes the teachers, they make the environment a bit more competitive, and
Yeah.
then like it hypes you up a bit more. And yeah, for me,
Something I was really shocked about in Germany was that there's a period for exams and there's also a period for retaking the exam. So while there's people on vacation, like winter or summer vacation, there's also like a month in between where you can take the exam again. And don't do this at home, but I know there's people that will go to the first exam, they will fail it on purpose and then redo the exam. So like they knew what the formula was because it's always like the same format. They just change like the questions or something.
Oh, really?
But if someone asks you, I never said that. But no, I always made sure that I will try and do my best like from the first time, but it was a bit hard. And also like I will be really shy like to ask questions because German is like my third language, second. Yeah. And then like in front of like 100 people to ask a question, it was like, wow. I don't want to be
yes,
like
of
the only
course.
person that feels like stupid because almost nobody is asking questions, but it's only like 2 hours of only listening to the professor give the lecture. There's like very small breaks in between, so it's like
It's not as interactive as it's here
not
in
not
the-
as interactive. It's more like you really need to be focused in it.
Mhm. Finally, in Positive Impact, we will reflect on how these experiences have influenced your lives. And I want to go a little bit back because what you were saying was interesting. So about the exams. So you were saying that you need to retake them, right? Like you can retake them. And I had actually, since I'm an advisor here at Tech, there's some students that think that they can retake exams here at Tech, and it's like, no, in Tech you fail
Yeah.
and you fail. But you were saying in your university.
It's
Yeah,
the
no,
same.
no.
Yeah.
Ah.
No, it's the same. It's sometimes a bit depending on the systems, on what university it is, and also a bit more technical. If you're studying more technical, it's sometimes the case that you can do a second one, like a second try, and the more business-related universities. Sometimes it's not the possibility.
It's like
Yeah,
to
and I think it depends. Like at our university, you can take some exams again, but the next semester. So you have to wait like another semester, and most of the time it's with a different professor. So the exam is different. It's not the same. And I think like at our university, it's a lot applied. So you have to do exercises, and it's not so much like to learn just like the things. So because I heard like from some universities, some friends of mine, they say like in a group, oh, everybody is gonna remember like one question, and then they like write it down, and like so they have like all the exams from the past generations, like from the past exams. And
Wow.
I think at our, I haven't heard that they do it. Like some professors give you old exams so you can study with that. But yeah, and so like my friends sometimes say, like, oh yeah, I already know what's gonna be in the exam. I'm like only studying the questions that I already have from the past generations.
No, because you study business and you study engineering, so maybe that's also a big difference. Because I mean, business is more like applied with what your knowledge, and you need to like respond in a way, formulate an answer. But I think with engineering is more about like it's this or it's this, right? It's not like there's not many options like to do stuff. And when I hear thermodynamics, I just hear like, well, Tesla, Elon Musk, space. And then it comes to my mind the recent thing that happened, like the spacecraft that came back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
That's
oh yeah. But we're talking about your experience in Mexico. So, well, how do you think these experiences were gonna be influencing your lives overall, like for now and in the future? Because I think an exchange, people that don't have an exchange, I think their lives are not gonna be the same, because I think it's like a before and an after in your life.
I would think it's like it changes your view on things. Like you're a lot more open to new things. You're more flexible. You learn to be more on your own. I think. Even if you've lived alone, it's a difference from living alone in the same country where your parents are or your family is. For if something happens, you need to go to the doctor or to the hospital. If something happens, like, okay, I know, like, even if it's 2 hours away, my dad's gonna come or something, and I come to the hospital, and here it's like, yeah, you're more on your own. You need to take care of stuff alone. Like, also, I think, like, from my difficulty was, like, to call places, because sometimes I do speak Spanish well, but sometimes I don't understand them that well on the phone. So it's like
we speak really quickly, right?
Yeah. So
sometimes.
I have to be like more responsible, and I think also like I improved my Spanish a lot. That helped me. I that was like a big goal for me, like to really like get more fluent in Spanish. So I think like I got that.
So as a background, I wanted when I applied to Potsdam University, I always had in mind, maybe the double degree here at Tech or in Mexico. And when I started in Potsdam and I applied also for being here, I unfortunately got cancer, and 3 days after my diagnosis, they said, "Hey, you can go to the double degree for 1 year," and it was one of my biggest dreams. And I thought, like, shit, I can't go anymore I was super sad that I don't have the possibility anymore. Fortunately, it went everything like super well again, and then one semester or a bit or nearly 1 year later, I could start at Mexico, and it was such a dream, and I always felt okay, I will be feeling connected here with the people, and it was exactly the case. So the people are really high quality people, or personas bien cálidas, you're saying here, and that's what you can experience everywhere, and what I really like the most. If you say one thing, for sure, food and all the other stuff, like the more touristy, but I think the people are making the difference at the end. And maybe from the cultural side was really interesting. If you are asking someone here in Mexico, ¿cómo estás? We had it with the indirect manner you're using. Yeah, everyone's saying, bien, and they're going maybe ahead. But in Germany, they're a bit more closed then, because we sometimes always like saying, okay, they're a bit more like colder and stuff. But if you ask someone, okay, how are you? And then they will tell you everything. So, or if you have once a German friend that's also really good, then they are quite loyal. I don't know, but I would say it's a bit less superficial. Mm-hmm. That's like the huge differences. Maybe you just have to choose what you prefer. Also have a mixture of international friends and Mexican friends or German friends to have everything of it.
Yeah, I would agree, definitely. I would say, like, I'll get sad about the fact when I think about leaving, and we'll miss the warmth of the people. Like, I've never been to a country where the people are that nice. And even the Mexicans I met outside of the country are super nice always. And I'll try to take that with me, like, to be open, to maybe not, like, judge others that much, like, on the first, like, time meeting them, and just try to be nice and warm, and I think that definitely impacted me a lot, I would say.
I also agree that it definitely like enhanced my cultural vision, in terms of like I really went like prouder to be Latin American and Mexican. Like there was a lot of moments where I thought I'm representing a whole country and I'm doing it like proudly. And even though there were like some grim moments where it's the whole nostalgia because you don't have your family and people can act different, I realized that it's always important to take risks. And also, if you don't like the environment, try changing it a little bit. I remember with my team in my internship, they were really flexible with me because I was just an intern and I was from a different culture, but I always like try to exceed their expectations, always prove to them that I am here for a reason and that I am here with a positive attitude, like hard worker, etc. So I think I really changed their view in that sense. At the end of my internship, they even said that they are open to hiring more international students, especially Latin Americans, because we come with a different cultural approach. And it was amazing. And I still have like a lot of connection with a lot of the Latin people that I met in university, because I met mostly people from Mexico and Salvador, etc. And also the family that I got from the residences where I lived, people from Scotland, Switzerland, France, Canada, I really fell in love with. They were amazing. So I still have a lot of connection with. I actually saw them in May for a beer festival in Munich. So
Nice.
that's really nice.
There's always beer festivals all year
There's
long.
always beer festivals.
So, talking a little bit about beer, what do you think about the beer in Mexico?
I haven't even tried it.
I know it pretty well. For instance, in Germany, because it's like really a kind of dark and heavy beer. I didn't drink anything like 1.5 years before coming to Mexico, and here I started to drink again a bit more. But it's nice. All in all, if you really like a kind of German beer, you can use Modelo Negro. It's like I think the most similar kind of.
Or Indio or not?
Indio maybe as well, but
no.
Modelo could be probably the closest one. But all the other beers are lighter, but also like tasty. I like it. Or Corona and stuff is like also popular in Germany. But you also can't compare it, because in Germany, in every region, you have a really different kinds of beers. So there's so much to discover. It's like really a huge tradition you have with beer. So probably in that regards, there's some the quality differences maybe sometimes.
Yeah, maybe I
What
think
do
it
you
would be
say?
like tequila. I don't know, like for us.
Yeah.
No, tequila in German is like literal alcohol, like pure alcohol, like pure alcohol from laboratory. I don't know. It's not the same.
No, but they even
texture
have like a
here.
beer that has tequila, right?
Desperado?
I saw that and I was like, oh my god, like
No, that
Don't you mix
something else.
Don't you mix tequila and beer here? Or
No.
no, it's not a thing.
No,
okay,
no.
it's not.
No. But do you like it, the beer there more than here, or for instance, what do you think? I'm putting
Yes
you
and
right on the
no.
spot.
Yes and no. There are a couple of beers that I enjoy here in Mexico. I do enjoy like Heineken, Modelo, Miller. But in Germany, it was always like Flutzinger, my to-go beer. I really like Tegernsee. Helles Bier also was amazing. And Glühwein, I gotta say, I enjoyed it. And even now and then at Radler, when I was like hungover, but I still wanted to drink. So.
Radler is kein alcohol. We always say Radler isn't alcohol because it's a mixture of like not a juice, but lemonade and a beer.
Lemonade, really?
Lemonade and about
Carbonated.
50.
Nobody knows what Radler is. Nobody
It's like a
knows.
word for loco or not?
No.
No. It's like the half, because it's lemonade like Sprite and kind of normal beer, but just half of it. So like a light beer, and that's the reason why we're saying it's not even alcohol, because it's just
Como cerveza
like-
limonada.
yeah.
Sí.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
No
interesting.
beer.
It's good.
No, really.
And what about the food? Like, so like, what's your favorite dish from Mexico? You need to tell. Like, if you had to choose one dish of Mexico, what would it be?
Tacos al pastor.
See?
Chilaquiles teco, chilaquiles as well.
I would also say tacos. Like,
Yeah?
in general.
Yeah, gringas, tacos, yeah, for sure. Mm.
And what about Germany?
I tried this dish in Oktoberfest. It's like Haxenfleisch. It's like a roasted pig or something. And it's like
Schweinshaxe.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like a steak or fillet with pommes frites, like French fries or mashed potatoes and
Schnitzel? No, no, schnitzel.
Oh, schnitzel is also really good, but like Haxenfleisch, I don't know.
Schweinshaxe.
Yeah, something like that. Really hard to pronounce.
No, impossible for me. I haven't tried, so
Yeah.
I was like, oh my
Yeah, I
god.
need like the
South
menu.
Germany.
I think the words are like super long in German. I don't know, but
Yeah.
they seem like
in the German words are really literal. Like, so it's like a composition of many words. So I think like if you know some vocabulary, you can you can understand it. Like, yeah, we just put one word behind the other, and it's a new word.
For
Yes.
instance, Autobahnstraße, no?
Yeah.
Car, train, street, or like the street of Handschuhe, yeah.
Yeah.
I know like Schadenfreude.
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 No, I mean,
Very good word. Very good.
Being happy that someone is
Miserable.
sad.
wow.
Yeah, we have that word.
Shadowfreude?
Schadenfreude, yeah.
Shadowfreude.
At the end, it's not really nice, but yeah, we have that word.
Yeah, in Mexico, it doesn't exist that word in Spanish.
No.
No.
But
Wow.
the feeling exists.
The feeling
The
exists,
feeling.
Mm.
Yeah. That's actually nice. There's a lot of words sometimes that don't exist in other languages, but the feeling exists, and you don't know how to put it into words. But
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe people, and I know that a lot of people that might have feel like that feeling of feeling that way. It's not a good feeling. I wouldn't say that it's good to feel that way, but maybe you just feel it, and feelings are like that. You just feel them. You don't think about them. But yeah, well, definitely German. It's a difficult language, but now I think it's nice that you say that what you were saying, that now we get why Germans are so direct, because their language is direct. So in Mexico, we tend to be like, maybe like you should do this, but if you want, but if you don't want to, it's like, but Germans go straight forward to it. Well, okay. It's now time to say goodbye for now, but I want to thank you so much for being here. And well, if you had to sum up your whole experience in one word, I just want to ask you that for the last, what would it be? What would be that word of your experience as an exchange?
Happiness.
Tito. Tito.
Tito?
I don't know.
Faloka? Faloka is like a drink with like quite intense drink.
No,
12%,
I have never had one actually. I think it's intense.
Changing?
Adapting. I don't know.
Oh yeah.